Hey, it's Brandon from The Better Cook. Today, we're gonna be making pan-seared ribeye with sweet potato puree, red wine pan sauce, and a compound butter. So there's 4 steps to this. We're gonna make our sweet potato puree first. You're gonna wanna take these dead spots off. I'm gonna cut off the tops and bottoms. Then I'm gonna peel it. Having a little bit of trouble with my peeler. I think I'm gonna replace it. Make sure you take off all the skin. We really want a smooth puree. All right, now that we've taken all the skin off, I'm gonna cut these into large chunks. And then I'm going to cut them into a little bit smaller pieces. Everything should be pretty much the same. The reason for that is it cooks evenly, and you don't get any sweet potato that it hasn't cooked fully through. Now we're prepped and ready, let's add salt to the water. Then we'll add our sweet potatoes. The reason we add the salt to the water is so that the salt penetrates the sweet potato and adds a consistent flavor through the entire puree, and you don't get bland spots. We'll probably boil this for about 20 minutes or so until it's soft all the way through. You can check with a knife. Sweet potatoes smell amazing. They're soft, they're ready to be blended. So we're gonna add it to the blender. Add 3 tablespoons of butter, about a half a cup of cream, and we'll add a little bit of salt. We'll give this a blend. It is still a little chunky, so I added a little bit more cream during this process just to make it a little bit thinner. Now that we have this beautiful, smooth, consistent puree, and it's just gorgeous and bright and vibrant, look at that, oh my God. We're gonna mix it around and make sure there's no lumps or anything like that and give it a taste. And you're gonna realize, wow, that is delicious. This is sweet potato puree at its finest. All right, now we're gonna prep. What we're gonna do is we're gonna prep for 2 different projects. One, the compound butter, the other, the pan sauce. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna brunoise some shallots. So you're gonna run your knife through pretty thin. Brunoise is a technique. What it is really finely small diced shallot. So you're gonna run your knife through one way, then you're gonna run it the next. And then you're gonna slice it super thin. So we add flavor to our dish, but not too much of the texture, right? It's gonna cook out, it's gonna be very soft, but it's gonna add the flavor. And that's it. That's a brunoise shallot. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to mince some garlic. I love to smash my skins, like you know, because it makes it easier for peeling. This will be about 3 garlic cloves for this one, 4. We'll run our knife through, rough chop, then we'll run it again, nice and fine minced. Now we're gonna break down some herbs real quick. Remove the rosemary from the stem. We're also gonna take some thyme. The reason we remove it from the stem is because stems can get very woody and they're not very good. We're gonna finely mince. We're gonna add a little bit of herbs, not too much. We don't wanna overpower the steak, but we do wanna have a nice balance. Now that we've got this prepped, we're gonna split these into 2 equal parts. One for the red wine pan sauce, one for the butter. But first, we're gonna make the butter. Take olive oil. We're gonna add garlic, shallots, and herbs. We're gonna sweat this out real quick in our pan. We're gonna cook them down till they're pretty much caramelized. We'll add a little bit of salt and a little cracked pepper. Continue to sweat out. These are looking pretty good. Let's add our red wine, and we're gonna reduce this by half. What we're really looking for is like a dark, vibrant purple. And we don't really want any liquid left over. It should be kind of sticky, not burnt. So now that our shallots and garlic are cooked down, there's no liquid left over, we're gonna cool this. We're gonna take room temperature butter, our shallot mixture, and I'm gonna mix them up with my hands, using gloves so I don't make a mess. Mix evenly so you don't have any butter that is not incorporated. We'll season with salt and continue to mix. We're gonna throw down a little bit of plastic wrap on our cutting board. We're gonna add our finished butter product. We're gonna wrap it up real tight. We'll give it a good twist, and there you go. You got compound butter. You can freeze this, you can do whatever you want with it, really. Save it for later, another steak. It's time to season our steak. It is gorgeous. Look at this ribeye, marbling, that fat cap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna score the fat cap just to help it render out. Scoring literally opens up the fat, so it allows heat to come in and help the fat render out just a little bit more. Now we're gonna season with salt and pepper. You're gonna notice I'm seasoning pretty heavily. I'm pressing the salt into the ribeye, The reason for this is you'll probably lose about 30% of this salt when we're cooking in a cast iron pan. The pepper won't fall off as much, but you know, we still go pretty heavy. We want the steak to be fully seasoned. I mean, if you're spending money on a steak, you want it to be good, right? So let's make it good. Let's season this thing up correctly. So when someone eats your steak, or your partner eats your steak, or you know, whoever it is, family, friends, they're blown away. We're gonna get a cast iron pan pretty hot. We're gonna start searing the steak. That's not enough. We're gonna get a little bit more golden brown. That's it. That's what we're looking for right there. That's gorgeous. Now we'll flip. And we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And now that we've seared both sides beautifully, I'm gonna render out the fat cap and sear around the edges of the steak. Now, I am testing to see if this is mid-rare. So what you do is you put your cake tester in your steak. If your cake tester is lukewarm to the lip, you're sitting at a beautiful mid-rare steak. I'm gonna let this rest. Now we're gonna do a pan sauce. So we're gonna take garlic, shallots. There's a little bit of herbs in there. We're gonna sweat that out. And then I'm gonna add my red wine. We're gonna add about a half a cup here. We're gonna reduce this by half. And now that's reduced by half, we're gonna add the butter and make our pan sauce. I'll remove from the heat and really let the butter melt right into this to really mount and make a thicker, delicious looking sauce. Now we're gonna strain the sauce. It's gonna make it look silky smooth on the plate. This is horseradish, fresh. What we're gonna do is we're gonna slice off the top and bottom, and then we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna take off, you know, the bark, pretty much. It's a root. It's gonna be kind of rough on the outside. If you struggle with cutting it, you can always peel it. Just try to take off all the bark as you can. You know, I'm just giving it a nice little razor shave. It smells super fresh. It doesn't smell too spicy, and it's pretty wonderful. So we're gonna cut our steak up real quick. Look at that caramelization. Doesn't it look delicious? I love cast iron pans. They are wonderful. All right, so we're gonna slice it down. Oh, it's beautiful, mid-rare. So I'm gonna cut it kind of at a little bit of an angle. And once, oh, look at that fat. Oh man, I just wanna eat this right now. Dude, it looks so good. We're gonna take our butter, we're gonna slice it, and then we're gonna probably take about a 1/4 inch off. Make sure you peel off the plastic right here. No one wants to eat that. We'll save that for later. All right, sweet potato puree. We're gonna lay that down in the middle. We're gonna throw down 4 slices of ribeye. We're gonna go around the plate with our pan sauce and then a little bit on top of the ribeye. And then it's time to put that beautiful butter on top of our steak. It'll slowly start to melt. Put a little bit of flour and a little bit of horseradish. It's already starting to pop. I wanted a little bit more flour, so I went with a little bit of purple. And then I thought I needed a little bit more, so I took some thyme, put it on the grill, and got a little bit of thyme ash to finish the dish. What's a steak without red wine? Where do I want to eat? Where do I want to start? Right here. I love the fat cap. That's my favorite part. It's so good. It's juicy, fatty. Oh, get some of that butter. Man, I really outdid myself this time. I'm literally gonna eat this whole steak right now, guys, and I'm not gonna move. It is so good.